I'm Emily, and this is Ryan. We're a couple from Tasmania, Australia, who are pursuing our dream of exploring the world by sailboat. We recently bought a yacht in Greece, ready to start our adventure in 2023. In this video, we'll take you along the boat hunting journey and some of our travels through Greece. First, a bit of background. We'd been thinking about this trip for years. In early 2020, we were planning to sell our house, quit our jobs, and sail the world. The only issue was we had no sailing experience. So we both completed competent crew courses. Next, we wanted to know what it was like crossing an ocean. We joined Find a Crew and found an ad by a Swedish couple who were looking for crew to sail from New Caledonia to New Zealand. Long story short, we found ourselves travelling to New Caledonia to meet them and join their yacht. What followed though was a harrowing journey which would almost put us off our plans altogether. 5+ metre waves, seasickness, non-existent safety practices, and no decent food for a week. When we washed up in New Zealand, I vowed never to go out to sea again. We headed home to Tasmania. Over the next 3 years, COVID-19 happened, so we worked, did some projects on our hobby farm, went bushwalking, mountain biking, but otherwise stayed in Tasmania and watched the pandemic unfold. By October 2021, the state borders within Australia had started to open, and we'd planned to cruise the Whitsunday Islands with some good friends. This trip was so amazing that it inspired us to revisit our dream of one day cruising the Greek islands. Ryan was keen to get the dream back on track, but I needed a little more convincing. My fear of the ocean had subsided because I knew that we could sail relatively safely in the Mediterranean and do things on our own terms. My main concerns were the fear of buying a yacht overseas and letting go of jobs that we'd worked hard to get. One weekend though, as we found ourselves doing the same things as usual, we talked about how the years were merging into one. We found that time goes so fast when we don't do new things, because our memories of the years seem to conflate. Our biggest regret would be having unfulfilled dreams, so we decided to make a plan and put it into action. We would travel to Greece in October 2022 to try and purchase a yacht, ready to sail the Mediterranean in 2023. When we arrived in Greece, we had a few days before the boat searching began, so we decided to explore the Peloponnese, a large peninsula off the southern tip of mainland Greece. We were pretty pleased we got the full insurance on the hire car after multiple close encounters and an unfortunate incident nearly getting bogged in someone's olive grove. Overall though, we found the Peloponnese to be absolutely stunning. We could have spent weeks exploring there. It was time to get down to business though and find our boat. We headed up to Preveza where most of the boats for sale in Greece were located. There were thousands in the boatyards there. We'd pre-arranged with a broker to view a 2001 Veneto Oceanus 393 on our first day. We were very excited about it because the photos looked amazing online. Unfortunately though, when we saw it in person, we were less than impressed. Although the photos don't show it, it really hadn't been taken care of.
It has had, it's been used over the years, so everything's sort of up to date. It's sort of...
It's just dirty.
Just really
dirty.
Needed
a clean.
Inside. A few cigarette butts in the cockpit and...
Shit in the toilet?
I don't know, the toilets haven't been cleaned. Or the one at the very front hadn't been cleaned. So it's kind of hard to sort of fall in love with it. It's like when you sell a second-hand car, you sort of put lipstick on a pig and you kind of sell anything, which, I don't know, you don't want to be fooled by things, but kind of takes a bit of the shine off. And it kind of hasn't been packed away for winter.
No.
all the boats here have their chain like out of the chain locker, like laid out on a pallet or something, and the sails are put away and everything's closed up and whatever. But this one's kind of just been pulled out of the water. The fenders were still on the side of the boat from when it came out of the water. So it's just sort of, and the broker said to us, you don't really need to do much winterising a boat, and it's kind of not easy to say when it's not your boat, but I think he's sort of a lazy way of sort of thinking, really, because I'm sure if that was his boat, he'd be sort of squaring it away for 3 months on the hard.
We went back to Lefkas feeling deflated. We had gyros and drinks to commiserate. The next day we'd arranged to view another Beneteau 393, the same model, as well as a Moody 425 in the afternoon. The second Beneteau was an improvement, but still not in the greatest condition. We sat down and made a pros and cons list while we waited to view the Moody 425. That afternoon we climbed aboard the Moody Vitamin C3 and both instantly fell in love. The deck was in beautiful condition. I quickly raced down below to check out the interior. We loved the huge aft cabin, spacious saloon and layout of the kitchen. The centre cockpit was great, as was the overall quality of the boat. It was clearly well loved by its elderly owner, who'd had it for 30 years. We looked at another Moody afterwards, which was slightly newer, but much more expensive. We decided to bite the bullet and make an offer on Vitamin C3 that afternoon, narrowly outbidding another prospective buyer. Our offer was accepted later that day. We couldn't have been more stoked. What we thought would be a long and stressful boat hunting process was over in 2 days. So, after getting some paperwork out of the way, we continued on with our holiday. We spent a few days exploring Lefkada Island. The beaches were incredible. Because it was autumn, we basically had the place to ourselves. We checked out the lighthouse at Cape Lefkas, which was first operated in 1890 using oil as its energy source. It was destroyed by an earthquake in 1950 and rebuilt in 1956. The keeper was kind enough to let us climb to the top. All was going well until Ryan had an encounter with a nasty jellyfish.
Jellyfish,
Ouch.
about the size of a golf ball.
Got you good.
Tentacles. Stung the absolute shit out of me.
From what we could find on Google, this jellyfish was a Pelagia noctiluca, also known as a mauve stinger. Not poisonous, but with a painful sting, and every few years their numbers increase. Hopefully they're gone by next year. We cheered ourselves up with two of my favourite things, meeting local cats and eating food. We also headed inland to explore the unique rock formations and incredible monasteries of Meteora. Finally, we journeyed back to Athens, with some amazing stops along the way. With our boat, Vitamin C3, waiting patiently for us in Greece, we're spending the summer in Tasmania with family and friends, preparing for our adventures next year. We'll be heading back to Greece in April 2023 to get the boat ready to explore the Greek islands and Turkey.